What's up, everyone? How are we enjoying the beginning of spooky season?
Isn't
Yeah.
Spooky season. Oh, I'm so excited. I love fall. I love Halloween. You like your present?
I didn't quite have it angled correctly. Hold on. I don't want to block it with my hand. There we
Oh,
go.
she's beautiful. Love her. God, the really cool person must have bought that for you.
And it's full of apple cider, so it's very,
Oh,
fall
very
appropriate.
fall.
Yeah,
Perfect. We
it
love to
just
see
feels
it.
right. It's one of 3 beverages that I have here currently.
impressive.
I
The
also
other
have my
one of them's gonna
post-gym
be.
chocolate milk.
Oh, oh, I thought
The
you meant
best.
like you only have three options in your house.
No, 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 on my desk right now.
That's a lot of beverages. What's the third? Water?
Just water, yeah.
I got it. Um, but yeah,
I'm
it was
sure I
your
looked better
birthday
using
the other
carrying one.
day. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm at an age where I pretend they don't happen now.
I was literally just about to make a joke about being like, we don't have to talk about what number.
Hmm?
You don't pretend what happens.
My birthday.
No, okay, never mind.
Oh my god. I think it was like the fact that you need to repeat it made it like
Sure, yeah, yeah.
it lost the I was like, wait, what? That's what I'm going with.
So, technically, I have four things planned for today. But I think if we do it right, the first two are going to take up pretty much the entire episode, and then we can have like a neat little theme to it. But if not, we have the later two questions as some filler.
Mm-hmm.
So that is essentially the plan. Possibly the most detailed plan I've ever started an episode with. Which doesn't say much. Yeah, does anyone have anything they'd like to share with the class before we start?
It's like,
I will go ahead and warn people that my contributions to the central conversation will be limited.
That's fine. You'll be fine.
I'll try my best.
Okay,
yeah.
so I should probably preface this by saying, like, one, I dressed the part because we're going to be talking a shit ton about the Beatles today, and I'm really excited because when I was in high school, the Beatles was a replacement for a personality for me.
Yo, like big same.
Like, that is how, like, friends of friends knew me. They were like, oh, like the Beatles girl? Like, that was me. Um, Shout out to my dad, honestly, for creating the monster that I am, because he was the one who always had God, what album was it? I want to say the Beatles for Sale playing in his car like nonstop when I was a child. Good shit. So yeah, if we want to blame anyone, we can blame him. So the one we're going to be starting with, who are the best and worst members of the Beatles? I have some clear answers in my head to begin with.
I just see, okay, this is probably an area I don't know as much about it as I would like to.
Okay,
So I
valid.
feel like I'm learning a lot, but I do love Paul McCartney. Um, just maybe it's because he's the person I've just seen the most.
Mm-hmm.
He's like he's on late shows and
Oh
whatnot.
yeah.
Um, but just strikes me as a very down to earth and pure and wholesome guy. But for all I know, there's a lot of stuff in his background that is not that, so I'm gonna I am ready to learn for sure.
I mean, just gonna put out there, like, as a person who's read like couple various like histories and biographies or whatever. No, no member of the Beatles is winning the, like, you know, unproblematic award. Like,
Yeah.
they were all doing some shady shit at one point or another. But we're gonna set aside the, like, super critical, like this is not a social commentary podcast. This is a podcast where we get really heated over things that don't matter. So we're gonna set some of that aside for the time being.
I know that the Beatles watched George Harrison lose his virginity.
This is correct. He was like
Mhm.
15, and it was with a prostitute in the Reeperbahn district in Germany. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
Fun fact.
I know so many weird, uncomfortable facts about the Beatles. Like they there was like a masturbation circle, like all at once.
Mhm.
Ugh. And
That's a
also,
thing.
the New York Post headline when that information was revealed, beautiful. And if you don't know it, Google it because it's so wonderful.
Wait, what was it though?
It was Beat the Beatles.
Okay, that is very funny.
That's solid,
And, like,
yeah.
Whoever came up with that deserves a raise.
Correct. Anyway, now that I've established my quote-unquote credentials, I gotta say, I would say best member of the Beatles, probably George Harrison, in my opinion. I do freaking love Paul McCartney. Like,
Yeah.
I went to a Paul McCartney concert in 2016, and I had an awesome time, and it was super fun, and, like, Paul McCartney's awesome. I feel like George Harrison, very undervalued. Just
That's
because,
fair.
like, I don't know why his solo career never quite took off the way that, like, John Lennon's did when he was still alive and Paul McCartney's has. Because, like, All Things Must Pass, that's a fantastic album. And I don't know, maybe I'm getting a little bit too into, like, what they contributed after rather than what they contributed during the time that the Beatles were actually, like, still together. I don't know. I love George Harrison. Really, really great guitar player. Big fan. Love his voice. Love a lot of his solo work. I think he is underappreciated.
That's
Probably
fair.
doesn't get talked about as much as the others.
Yeah.
This is quite true. Also, I think Ringo Starr is going to be the last member of the Beatles alive, and I think
Don't
that
say
will be
that. Immortal.
I think that will be out of spite.
No,
See that?
that's I don't even want to think about that. Like, at all. In my mind, John Lennon's gonna outlive, or not John Lennon, Paul McCartney is gonna outlive me, and that's what I've convinced myself to be happy.
I like it. Good way to live your life.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of my fun little theories. And also, do you think Ringo Starr is a little undervalued? I hate the whole discourse of, like, oh, Ringo's a bad drummer. Like, no, he simply isn't. And, like, I don't have time to get into why that's not the case.
But I feel like in bands, like, the drummers are usually overlooked to begin with
This is quite true.
because they aren't the vocals, and the guitarist is usually like as the guitarist in a band, you can get pretty creative with what you're doing on stage, but the drummer is literally in the background,
Yeah.
and as such, like, not just for the Beatles, but for any band, people usually think of the drummer last. I feel like.
This is very true.
Mm-hmm.
It also annoys me when people say that, like, he can't sing, because some of the, like, he's lead vocals on some of their most iconic bangers. Like Yellow Submarine, hello.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that people like
Exactly. Like that's one of the ones that people know like within the first like 5 seconds.
Yeah, which is funny because it's like just a nonsense song. It's like a children's song. But
It
I
really
I
is.
think I was reading this. I don't remember if I'm remembering this right, but I think Yellow Submarine was like they were tired of people trying to read into their music, and so they just made like the music version of a Rorschach test. Just let people get what they wanted.
I believe that.
Yeah, it's like, is it political? Is it about the Vietnam War? Is it a children's song? They were
Yeah.
like, sure.
Also tangentially related, Yellow Submarine, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Have you seen Across the Universe?
I have not.
Okay.
We tried to watch it that one time.
We did try to watch it.
Wait, Yellow
We'll try
Submarine?
again.
First.
Across
No,
the
Across the
Universe.
Universe.
Okay.
I don't remember why you couldn't seem to focus on it.
Um,
And I had to turn it off. I mean, I've seen it a bunch of times, so.
we had both been through at least a bottle of wine that night, like each. So that's partially why. Anyway,
I love that movie.
Yeah.
we'll get there. We will get there eventually.
Hmm.
Worst member of the Beatles. Gonna be potentially controversial here. John Lennon.
Yeah.
As a human being, kind of screw that guy.
Yeah.
Very much a massive hypocrite.
I'm not gonna argue with that.
I mean, definitely, like, extremely talented, wrote some amazing songs, but also, imagine no possessions, drives a custom Rolls Royce.
I feel like okay, I should argue with it because to not argue would be pretty antithetical to the whole like ethos of the podcast.
This is true.
Oh, you know what? I can't even think of I really don't know enough about the members themselves. I know surface level. And like the occasional odd fact, like about George Harrison. But from what I have heard about John Lennon, I'm willing to buy it.
Okay, yeah, no. Wife beater. There's a
Yeah.
fact to put out there.
Yeah, but that bit about being hypocritical, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Just because, saying, imagining this basically utopian world, right? There's no war, there's no possessions, all that stuff.
Very
Like, yeah,
true.
that's nice to think about. I would love that. But at the same time, there are things that I enjoy that make me smile.
This is very true.
For me, it's having a really expensive, fancy yarn collection. For him, it's a Rolls Royce. But it's not necessarily hypocritical to want that world, but also enjoy material things.
Okay, yeah.
I think
I will
he
definitely give you that one. I think he was in other ways still a pretty hypocritical individual, like being all about
Oh, yeah.
like publicly being about like, oh, non-violence and peace, but also like he beat both of his wives.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I'm not necessarily defending him. My knowledge is far more limited than like I know their names.
okay, that's
Couple
something.
basic
When
things, but that's
when
about
I
it.
first started getting in like really into the Beatles when I was in high school, I watched A Hard Day's Night with one of my friends, and like she couldn't even tell them apart at first. She was like, "How are you doing this?" I was like, "It's not that hard."
also,
Are they the same hair?
I have another reason why John Lennon qualifies as the worst of
Do
all the
tell.
Beatles. He was the only Beatle to not go vegetarian. Everyone else did.
Oh yeah.
Just saying.
Hmm.
Now, do I think that beating your wife is worse? Yes, but
Glad
if we're
we've got
gonna
that
rank,
out there.
yes, but if we're gonna rank things, it does fall on that list. Just
It's certainly not a point in his favor.
yeah.
Not that
But yeah,
I.
no, I think that's fair. Yeah,
Not that
because
like
in
not being a vegetarian makes you like a bad person.
no, but it does contribute overall to like global well-being.
This is true.
So it's yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying if you eat meat, you're a bad person. I just mean like the world would be. I think the world would be better if people didn't eat meat, but I also get it.
Yeah, no.
I,
Valid point.
I I come from a Colombian family. We take our meat very seriously. Um, but yeah.
I'm trying to think of just like other reasons. It's like I have all the like random old like trivia and facts and like ridiculous amount of knowledge like kind of like percolating at the back of my mind right now, but I like have not accessed it in like a red hot minute.
Hey Jude was like for his son, right? It was John Lennon's son that they
Yeah, but
wrote.
it was written by Paul McCartney.
No, no, I know. I just trying to remember because I knew it was about one of their kids. I'm
Yeah.
90% sure it's Lennon's, but yeah. Um, which also that song did get them in some hot water because they didn't know that Jude
Oh
was like
yeah.
Jew because what was his name? Julian, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't like how it flowed, so they put Jude, but means Jew, and like it was the 50s.
Yeah.
This kind of like saying "Hey Jew" was kind of
Bit of a
re
recent problem. No, oh my god.
yeah,
One friend was telling me that
a little
like
bit.
somebody got in trouble at like I don't even know what like college or like school or something this was, but somebody got in trouble for writing some lyrics to Hey Jude on somebody's like a random person's like whiteboard on their like dorm door
Really?
because they had written a slur.
Oh, hey, yeah, "Hey Jude" to make it. Okay.
I was like, bit
I mean,
much.
context.
Yeah, content, and it was like clearly like a
Yeah,
stanza from the song. I was like, huh?
yeah,
It is also just a name. Like there are
Mm-hmm.
people that are just named Jude, both male and female.
Yeah, no, one of my art teachers in high school, that was his first name.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
That's a bit of a stretch.
yeah, un poquito.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Words very much have different meanings. Can't judge all uses of the word by one of its meanings.
agreed.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what.
I'm
So
just
I'm like
I'm just
simultaneously
imagining
like
it with the name Julian in place. Hey, Julian. Like,
I think it was
Yeah,
supposed to be Hey Jules to begin with.
yeah.
oh,
Those-
okay.
But
No, I want to shoehorn in all the syllables.
I like it. I don't remember
wait,
what TV
the
show
story.
this was, but it was Paul McCartney on some late night or something, and he was like, doing one of the sketches. He was like, "Oh, it was a typo. It was supposed to be Hey Dude."
Did you hear the story he was telling? Was it James Gordon? That's the guy, right? Does carpool karaoke?
Yeah,
Gordon?
Yeah, he was telling James Gordon about when they wrote "She Loves You," yeah, right, and like that whole song, and like they recorded it, and then they went out to where his dad was because his dad was also a musician, and they were
mm-hmm.
like, "Hey, we we wrote this song. You want to hear it?" And he's like, "Sure." And they're like, "She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah," and they sang it, and he was like, "Oh, that's a very good song, but there's enough of these like Americanisms going around, and wouldn't it be better if you sang 'She Loves You,' yes?"
Oh my god,
And
yeah.
I was like,
I
could
think
have changed.
it's funny that yeah is like considered an Americanism or like was considered an Americanism. Like I don't know.
Hey,
No, I
that's
gotta
Honestly, that's not a world I want to live in.
well, I want to.
Does not flow,
No.
It doesn't.
in my opinion.
Although the way James Gordon sang it actually wasn't bad because he was like, "She loves you, yes, yes, she does," and I was like, okay,
Okay, that's not
that is
terrible. But also, I don't want to give points to James Corden just because he's really annoying.
also very fair.
He was
Okay.
delightful on Doctor Who, though.
He was.
And he had an episode with Michelle Obama, which was very funny.
Oh wait, that was the one where they like pull up by the White House or something? He's like, is Barack in there? He's just like, he better be. That's where he said he was. He's like,
Yeah.
nice.
He better be. Oh my god. Not to totally go off the tangent off the Beatles, but I do love. Anyways,
So yeah, I'm
to
gonna
agree.
say worst Beatle, John Lennon. Don't really care if that's a controversial statement, and honestly, I feel like it isn't. Like, I feel like people are kind of like not putting him on as much of a pedestal anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's my red hot take. Best member, George Harrison. Cool dude. Wish he lived longer.
I have no opinions.
When he died, 2001?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Sad.
Tragic. But shall we move on? Unless anyone has anything else to say about this or about anything else, frankly.
I am
Still no
ready.
opinion.
Shuffles
To
through
rank.
stack of albums. We love to see it.
I am literally so ready for this.
I don't know if I have like every single one. I have a lot. I have an original White Album. Thank you, Dad.
It's impressive.
With like the pictures, like the photos in it and everything. Oh, very cool. Okay, so I think the best way would be for me to stream this to you guys.
I literally have my vinyl.
Oh, the thing.
Yes.
I have it in front of me.
Ooh, okay, so then let's change this up a little
Ooh.
bit. Ooh, no. No. Focus. No, that's not actually that.
You were busy being obsessed with the Beatles. I was busy being punk rock. So that definitely did not fit into my high school aesthetic.
I don't
Did you ever get into Arctic Monkeys?
A little bit, but
They're like kind of.
yeah, I was gonna say, to me, they're almost a little more hip hop.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a hot
Yeah.
take.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I don't think they're punk rock as much as like grunge alternative, but I think it would
Yeah.
fit.
And it was mostly just like, well, because, I was in high school back in like 2000 through 2004. So it was
Okay.
a
Okay.
bit of
Yeah.
a different time period, yeah.
Well, I can't. Really
I didn't
think
even hear the
there's
Arctic Monkeys until a few years after. Well, no,
efficient
it was
way
probably
to
like
do this.
2008 or 9 or something like that.
Yeah, that's fair. I only asked because I picked up my stack of albums and I forgot I've got one.
Whatever, that's fine. I should have thought about this before I dragged it over to my screen, but that's fine.
I've got a few
That's on me.
classic punk type vinyls in my collection
I love that.
I love it.
that I've been gradually building.
That's on me.
Stuff that was
I
cool when I
am-
was in high school.
I'm very picky about what like albums I get on vinyl. Like, for me, it either has to be British or it has to have come out originally on vinyl. And like that is a very loose guidelines. Like there's not a world where I don't make exceptions, but right now everything I have qualifies.
I think we should be good. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Wonderful.
I gotta click the button. I clicked the button. Yes, and now I can.
Fantastic. So yeah, basically, we rank. S is like the god tier, best of all time, and then continuing down the line. Should we go in order of like release?
Wait, so
S is the best.
Okay.
S is god tier. Yeah, do we want to go in order of album release?
Yeah, we can do that.
Sweet. So that means we are starting with Please Please Me. What do we think?
Please Please Me starts out with like a pretty uncomfortable song, like right from the go.
What does it start
Like
with?
it's sad because it's so catchy,
Oh, it's an absolute banger.
but it also makes me very uncomfortable. And that, in my mind, kind of not soils, but puts the rest of the album in the bad taste. But that being said, Love Me Do,
Great song.
A Taste of Honey, I will
Not
like that.
one of my favorites.
I love it.
One of
love
my
it so much.
favorites off of this album, I really like Anna.
Okay.
Like that's a really good song that like people don't always know.
I feel like the reason half people might know Twist and Shout is because of Ferris Bueller's, but
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
also kind of stole that song. That song's not theirs, but
this is also true.
but still very good.
I mean, overall this is a really solid album, but like the
That
weak
first
ones on this album are like, yeah, I don't know, there's some that are just like simply not great, at least in my opinion, compared to a lot of their later stuff.
I think that's fair when when you are like ranking them you have to decide how you do it. Are you ranking them against each other or are you ranking them on their own merit? Like if this album existed and no other Beatles album existed, like you're gonna view it differently than when you're comparing it to like Beatles for Sale or Abbey Road.
I I feel like we gotta kind of do a little bit of both because if you're ranking all of them in the sense like no other Beatles albums exist, like they're all gonna be like within the top, like in the top two categories, and that's kind of not fun.
Okay,
So it's gotta be a
and
little of
it
both.
is there context to I Saw Her Standing There that I'm missing, or is it just a low-key pervy song?
Well, I mean, like I don't really think it's all that pervy.
But
Like I think the whole
the
thing, like he
first
sees a
line,
girl and asks her to dance. Like there's the whole verse about like we
okay,
dance through the night.
wait, how old is he when he's singing this though? Because that's important. Because the song explicitly states she's 17.
Yeah, he's probably
That's
about like if this is Paul McCartney, probably the same age.
is he really?
Yeah, they started like they started like
But
at the
then
like cavern clubs. One of them was like 15 or something.
yeah, because I know that they didn't start as the Beatles. It was like the Miners or the something
The
others.
Quarrymen.
But yes, thank you, the Quarrymen. But and see, normally I would give it to him, but the next line is like, if you know what I mean, which implies that's like, she's legal, but like, I also genuinely don't know how old he was, and that would put a lot of it into context.
Oh yeah, he was like definitely like somewhere in the range of 16 to 18, I think.
When the song came out, he was 21 when that album came out.
Okay.
That doesn't mean he necessarily wrote it at that age, but this is my function. I can't be helpful with the album ranking, but I will look things up.
Okay, I'll take it. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I think they all.
That's like
I'm trying to remember if they wrote that song as the Quarrymen and then just didn't get it released until later or not. I mean, I think it is distinctly less pervy than a fair amount of other classic rock songs.
Oh, I don't disagree. But the whole if you know what I mean thing just gives it such a I don't know. Which is again, it's so sad because the song is so catchy.
It is an absolute
But
banger.
yeah. But that kind of messes with the rest of the album in my mind. That being said, it's also their first album. It's like
Mm-hmm.
they're just coming on the scene. I don't know how big they were as the Quarrymen, but certainly not as big as they were as the Beatles, obviously.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
not. Let me see if I can figure out if I can find out when that song was written. Didn't expect to get this lost in the weeds on one song, but we're here now.
I'm actually on the Wikipedia page for it right now.
Oh, do tell. What do we got?
ooh,
I'm scanning it still, but I will.
I'm glad you found a way to contribute instead of just like
Yeah.
feeling left out.
So it looks like it was 62, so he was 20 at the time.
okay. That's like pushing it a little bit, but also
But also Jimmy Page kept a 14-year-old in a closet, which like is the bare minimum of comparison, but also in the world of like men in classic rock doing creepy things, also kind of doesn't
Yes.
scratch the surface.
Ah.
Oh,
Fun
what?
fun fact.
Do tell.
McCartney wrote the lyrics for the song while he was visiting his then girlfriend in London, who was 17 at the time. So he was
Oh,
dating a 17-year-old when he wrote it.
okay.
It wasn't about her, it was inspired by a different song that he had heard before, but fun facts.
Okay.
Okay, so perhaps
And
not the like most pervy thing in the world then.
no, and the other reason I don't think it's as bad as it sounds is because he has openly like talked about the song casually and at no point gave any sort of background where he's like, I know this doesn't sound right. Like he just talks about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like so yeah.
And also like Please
I
Please
don't know.
Me is
I
a
would
great song.
oh yes. No, absolutely.
Like Please Please Me
I don't know.
bangs.
Maybe put this in like for me personally, I would put it somewhere between like A and B.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I would put it like if we're gonna have to put it in context with our other work a little bit. So like compared to some of the like when you compare to some of the others, like it's a great album, but I think compared to some of the others, it's gonna knock it down to a B for me.
Okay.
Do we think that's fair, everyone?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, start with that.
It's so sad because like some of the albums I don't even like that much have some of my favorite songs, and that makes
I think
ranking
I'm
them
gonna have a
so.
controversial opinion later, and I'm really excited for us to get to it.
Oh, I am very excited too.
Okay. So here, hold on. Next, we've got With the Beatles, another classic.
Hmm. That's
Oh no, that's not the shirt I'm wearing. I have a With the Beatles shirt, but I'm not wearing it tonight. But that's okay.
do I have
Pull
no.
up the.
No. I love With the Beatles so much. It has
It's a.
some of the
I
sweetest.
again, I like it. The like. It's not a no skip album for me though.
No, but I don't think that any of the albums have are no skip. Like every once in a while, like every song has, or
Debatable.
every album song where like it's not that I don't like it. It's just I like the other songs more. But With the Beatles is probably one of my favorite albums. For me personally, I put it up top, but
Okay, honestly, now that I'm looking at this track list,
right?
like yeah, there's a lot of home runs there.
I don't like Little Child. That one gets
Yeah,
skipped
no,
usually.
not crazy about that one.
And Devil in Her Heart also is not one of my favorites,
Yeah, it's like okay.
but every single other one, every single other song on that, I like love it. It's
Huge
so
fan of
good.
You Really Got a Hold on Me.
Yes. Oh
Love
my
that
God.
song.
Like that song itself is like a hook that like grabs you.
Right? And like
Um,
I know like All My Loving is like such a kind of like cliche like Beatles song to be like, "Oh, I love that song." But as soon as I hear like the opening notes to that song, I'm just like it gets
I
me every time even though I know it's not that deep. It simply isn't, but god is it catchy. God do I love it.
Please, Mr. Postman and Roll Over Beethoven are definitely like if we were to rank songs in the album, definitely go up top.
Oh, hell yes.
And then It Won't Be Long, All I've Got to Do, I Want to Be Your Man, like those five, I think, if I did like rank them from within there, definitely go up top.
Personally would put You Really Got a Hold on Me a little bit higher, but we don't have time
But
to
the thing
rank
is,
all the
it's so
songs.
hard. Like we can kind of agree on which songs we're skipping. It sounds like we're more or less in agreement on that. But with all the other ones, like you can make an argument for
Oh yeah.
any one of those on
Oh,
top
absolutely.
within the album.
Um I think I would go A here. Cuz like it's not like super deep like if you want to get into real like oh, it's high art, but like man, does it bang.
I put it as an S, but that's just me. I don't know,
Actually,
Brooke. You have a breaking opinion on this particular one?
It's tricky to do because I know a lot of these songs, but I don't know all of them.
okay.
Sure.
And especially being able to compare it to the other albums is, you know,
Sure.
there are certainly songs on here I enjoy. It Won't Be Long is a song I really love.
It's a banger.
But
It
yeah,
is
I'm not.
overall a solid album.
It is an
Like,
extremely solid album. Like even like if it's like if I have to, I am frequently a person who will like if I'm like driving long distances, I put on just like an album, and like even if there are some songs in it that I don't love as much as others, like I won't skip it. If With the Beatles is on, I'm gonna be having a good time.
yeah. I feel like if With the Beatles is not my favorite album, it is tied with it. Like,
Okay.
but here's the thing, is like just in terms of like if I had to rank the albums in terms of like what percentage of songs am I skipping,
Mm-hmm.
then With the Beatles is top.
Yeah, it's up there.
Right.
Okay,
If
you know
that's
what?
how
Yeah,
you rank,
we're going S.
okay.
We have our first S. Hell yeah.
Yay.
And there was much rejoicing. Okay, what's next? I believe Hard Day's Night.
Mhm. Little sexist, but it was also what, the 60s.
Yeah. A lot of their stuff.
Half
We're
those
just gonna
songs
have to
are,
apply the little bit sexist.
yeah. Well, half the songs on that are like, you're a woman and
This is
we're
also true.
dating, so you like it's cringy in that way. But then you have songs that counterbalance it. Can't Buy Me Love, probably one of the top songs on the album. Um, there's also some really pretty songs.
This is
I
very true.
mean, If I Fell can easily put anybody in their feelings.
That is a very sweet
Um,
song. I love If I Fell.
yes. Yeah. But then there's songs like You Can't Do That, which is literally like you can't talk to other guys. That's literally the whole premise of the song.
Yeah, which is like a little bit gross. Here's the thing. I love A Hard Day's Night. I love this album. If you cut it off at any time at all, like if that was where the album ended, I would be fine.
That's very fair.
Like
That I actually agree with that. Um,
everything before then is absolutely fantastic. Most of the other ones, like on an average day, I will skip those.
yeah.
So for me, that definitely like makes like S tier not even an option.
Oh no,
If we're
I
just talking
agree.
about the merits of the entire album, not necessarily just like again, not just the songs individually,
Yeah.
because like A Hard Day's Night is an S tier song. Let's be real here, but the
Yeah.
album as a whole. So essentially, then the question is it an A or a B?
It's a B. Well,
Mm,
see, here's the thing.
but
I
I'm
think
happy just to dance with
please,
you. That
it is
elevates it
better
for
than
me.
Please Please Me, for sure, but I don't know how much better.
Sorry, wait. It's better than what?
I think it is better than Please Please Me.
Do
I
we
think
want to
that
go
the,
A?
yeah,
I mean, like,
fair.
there's only so many albums. I don't think we have to like really split hairs here.
Oh, I'm gonna split it.
Okay. Next. Help. Oh wait, no, we forgot Beatles for Sale.
That's wait, no, we didn't. It's well, like we didn't do it yet.
No, we didn't do it yet. Beatles for Sale prior to Help.
Okay, that okay. So Beatles for Sale,
Oh, that's an S.
yeah, because Beatles for Sale has my favorite song of
Like, there's
all.
one single song on here that I skip, and that's it.
Wait, is it Mr. Moonlight?
No, it's Kansas City.
I love Kansas City.
You don't like Mr. Moonlight?
You don't like Kansas City?
What?
I feel like I feel like Mr. Moonlight has given me one too many accidental jump scares when I like when it first comes on because it is so much louder
It is
than
very okay, I'll
all.
give you that. It's very loud, but the song is fantastic.
Wait, what do you have against Kansas City?
I don't know, it's just like it's the one I groove to the least. It's not none of, there's no such thing as a bad Beatles song.
Agreed.
And someone just set off a smoke alarm in my house. That's fine.
Okay, but 8 Days a Week, I think, is my favorite Beatles song out of all of them. Like all, not just within Beatles for Sale, but like
8 Days a Week is so freaking good.
all Beatle albums ever. So that
Um,
alone makes me want to put it in the S
the
category, even
song,
though
the way that the song "No Reply" immediately, as soon as I hear people are setting off a smoke alarm in my house again, but as soon as I hear the opening notes to "No Reply," I am 7 years old in the backseat of my dad's maroon Chevy Trailblazer on the way to my Grammy's house. Like, that album was on a constant loop my entire childhood. I'm gonna go with an S tier for this one.
I'm not gonna argue with that.
Hell yes. Second
Like
S.
in my mind, like those two, by far my favorite albums.
I dig it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we get to do Help. Which, God, what a disaster of a movie, even though I love it with all my heart.
Ooh, meant to pull up the album, not play the song. Ticket to Ride is very
Very good
catchy.
song.
Yesterday, can't go wrong.
Act Naturally is a great song, and again, Ringo is a good singer. Everyone leave him alone. What is that face for?
Nothing.
You got something
Wait,
you have something to say against Ringo?
see the face.
I don't have anything to say. I'm just bringing up the albums on Wikipedia as you mention them and scanning the songs and maybe knowing a couple
Okay.
and just continuing that pattern.
I will allow it.
Okay.
We do not allow
What are your thoughts
anti-Ringo
on them?
sentiment in this house.
I'm fulfilling the role of the basic person who only knows the hits on the radio.
I mean,
That is
that's a lot of
so.
songs, though.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of
It's
radio hits.
yeah, the Beatles weren't exactly one-hit wonders. Like
Yeah.
you
Um,
My own like very specific knowledge of other bands, just not this one,
rip.
but
yeah.
I will. So I'm the everyman in this scenario.
I like it. Again, there really isn't a lot here that I'm going to skip.
Yep. Are we thinking A?
I'm thinking A.
Yeah, because I wouldn't put it in the same category as with the Beatles or Beatles for Sale
No.
by any means, but it is absolutely like
Oh, it's fantastic.
demonstrably.
It's just something about the energy that isn't exactly the same in a way that I like can't quite articulate
Yeah.
beyond just saying like the vibe isn't the same. So yeah. What's next? Ooh, now we're getting into like weird fun territory. That's exciting. Revolver.
Oh, I have so many opinions on so many of the songs in
All right,
that
let's
album.
go. Hit me with them.
Well, okay, first of all, Dr. Robert makes me so happy anytime I hear it.
Good song.
Like it is an instant mood booster.
I like it.
Is there any songs that I don't? I'm not a big For No One person.
I I
That
do
one
like it.
usually gets skipped
Oh,
for me.
I don't skip that one.
Um, I think Taxman is just funny.
Taxman is a good song.
A lot of these songs are just like I don't know. if there was one, okay, this is what I will say. If there is one album that I was like, listen to this album and it will best summarize like all the music that the Beatles ever produced, I would say it's Revolver because I feel like it has the most eclectic grouping of
Mm-hmm.
like do they talk about like love and girls? Absolutely. Do they have some sort of borderline rock and roll songs? Yep. Do they have like trippy stuff like Yellow Submarine? Absolutely. Like it has it incorporates all of the elements that make the Beatles the Beatles.
Okay, yeah. That's a
In
fair assessment.
my opinion. If someone was like, "Hey, summarize the Beatles with one album," it would probably be Revolver.
Okay, yeah. I gotta say, I think "Gotta Get You Into My Life" is a tad overrated.
I don't know if I agree with that, but maybe.
I don't know.
This album has the longest Wikipedia page by far
Yeah, there's a
to this
lot
point.
happening here. There's a lot of weird stories behind almost every song.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they have a little story for every single song on here. I was scanning some of them.
Good stuff.
I'm making
Anything
good contributions.
noteworthy?
What was that?
Wait, are there any stories that are noteworthy that you want to put out? Because I'm always down to learn new tidbits about.
Nothing that's jumping out at me, but I will continue scanning and let you know
Wonderful.
if something does. Sorry, I saw the word clavichord and that made me laugh.
I do love the amount of weird instruments that they started like experimenting with on this album. Like it's very fun.
Yes. Oh, what's the one? I think it's that one. Which song has the cloud?
For no one?
Yeah.
Huh? Yes. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
There's a lot of Beatles songs, not just in this album specifically, just as a general sentiment that when they come on, I just I get so happy.
Yes.
And like I don't think that there's any other music group that I can think of that like that's the mood it puts me in. Not
Yeah,
like
no, like
I
Bridge, have
just
we ever
it's
watched like A Hard Day's Night together?
I think at one point you brought Yellow Submarine,
I probably did, but
but we didn't watch it at the time. But I think it's the closest we've got to watching any Beatles film.
and like the childlike happiness I get
Mhm.
from
I
watching A
think
Hard Day's Night.
that's a good way to put it.
Oh my god. I love it so much. And like I know that it's like it's just like a silly band movie. It's just an excuse to like it was essentially an excuse to make money, put the Beatles on screen and every teenage girl in the world is going to be mobbing the theaters, but it's so much fun and it makes me so happy and I haven't watched it in ages, so I think I'm going to be doing that real soon. But yeah, no, just oh, excellent. I am
So what
struggling as to where we should put this one though.
this is a revolver, right?
Yes.
I would I don't know. See, I would still give it an A. But I also feel like a lot of these are gonna fall into the A category, which is making me think that maybe Please Please Me we put too high relative to all the other.
I could get behind that. We can shuffle things
Yeah.
if it starts seeming unfair.
Yeah, maybe we'll stick it in the A category, and if we really feel like that's where most of them are falling, and I think that there's a good chance that that's going to be the case, then then
Yeah, I
we'll
think the
reevaluate.
problem is like so many of these songs are objectively good that I'm like having trouble being like
Yeah.
this is a C for the Beatles.
Yes. Right. Like for the like specific to the Beatles compared to other groups,
Yeah.
different, but we're comparing the Beatles to the Beatles.
Yeah, I gotta say, I would be willing to knock Please Please Me down, even though, again, good album. Very good album.
Yeah.
But comparatively is the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, we can shuffle as we continue. What's up next? Ooh, it's time,
I just want
lady.
to say,
What?
I just want to say, I don't dislike Mr. Moonlight. I just mean as far as songs on that album go. Not to totally circle back, but
No, it's fine. I was just messing with you. Now we're getting into some real big. We forgot Rubber Soul. We did it
that's a
again.
solid. If
Okay.
if
Taking a
Rubber Soul would be
hopping back
another,
one year.
I'm gonna advocate for S. Like,
Interesting.
I'm gonna be a pretty solid advocate to stick it there.
Ooh,
I'm gonna pull up
Norwegian wood.
the album, but I do. Rubber. Yeah, I do love Rubber Soul. I love Norwegian Wood. Yeah,
See, the
that one.
songs on here that I love, I really love, but the songs on here that I like kind of don't care for, like The Word, for example, it's
The
nothing.
word.
I mean, it is, but it's nothing crazy special in my opinion.
I think Norwegian Wood was their first song using the sitar.
Correct.
That song also makes me like puts me in my feelings a little bit, even though it's about an affair.
Oh yeah,
But we're
that
not
that
gonna.
song very much puts me in my feelings.
Yeah. Oh, so when Paul McCartney went to the White House to play for the Obamas, he serenaded Michelle Obama with the song Michelle. And I think that was the first time I've wanted to be president since I was in eighth grade.
I love
I
that
was
for
like, oh,
you.
right, I have to be president to get Paul McCartney to like sing to me personally. You do
That,
what you
that,
have
that
to
that's
do.
simply what it takes.
Yeah.
In a similar vein of that's simply what it takes. People share the tidbit of um, Queen and David Bowie's Under Pressure being written in like as if this is like an alarming thing. They're like, oh yeah, it was like written during like a 24-hour like wine and cocaine binge. I'm like, if that's what it took, then that's
Yeah.
simply what it took.
You do it.
Anyway, yeah, I think we're gonna have to start being like ranking the albums against each other a little bit more.
Oh, the okay, one solid demerit against Rubber Soul is Run for Your Life.
Yeah, no, Run for Your Life is like it's a catchy song,
Arguably,
but it is yucky.
arguably one of their worst songs. Which honestly, I think in terms of like the message it has is so bad it may very well sink it like a whole grade.
Okay.
I think it is like if you took out Run for Your Life,
You know,
the album would be near perfect. But that song just, oh my God,
it is pretty gross.
so terrible.
Yeesh, I just looked up the lyrics.
Yeah, no, not
Hmm.
not cute. Sung by John Lennon.
Yeah,
Inappropriate.
yeah,
I do really love this song, In My Life. And
yeah.
that's one of those ones that like every time it comes on, like I immediately stop what I'm doing
I
and
hear the
just like,
guitar riff and I'm
stare
just
at a
like
spot and sing it.
just sort of starts swaying. Um yeah, so I like your point about the solid demerit. We definitely are gonna have to start shuffling because everything's gonna wind up in an A and that's not fun. So
So, okay, maybe we bump it. It hurts to put Please Please Me as a C, but I have to keep in mind that this is all relative to
yeah,
the
it is
Beatles.
relative to the Beatles.
Yeah.
Everything here is an A compared
Like
to
compared to all
the
music.
world of like in the context of like the
Yes.
world of pop music at large and rock music at large. But
Okay, so maybe we put that in the C, and then maybe we make a hard days night a B, just because it's it's more than a little sexist.
It is. I personally would demerit. I personally would bump down Help before A Hard Day's Night, but that might just be me.
I mean, we could bump them both down.
That seems fair.
I, okay, this is looking like a much more well-rounded.
I like this. I like what we've created so far. So where do
And
we want
then
to stick Rubber Soul?
it's so sad that one song is keeping it from being an S. That it is that one song that is so terrible.
It really is not ideal. I
I think it's an A.
Okay, yeah. If
I
if
think
things change,
because
we can
yeah.
move it around. But I'll agree with that for now.
All right, which one are we on?
Now, my friends, it's time for something very fun. Let's talk about Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
If there is one Beatles album that I don't know that well, it's probably this one.
So here's the thing:
I'll
you
be
say that, but yes, you do.
I'll be totally honest. There's one I don't know. I love Lovely Rita.
It's a great
That
song.
song also that is one of those songs where when it comes on, I get very happy. We'll sing every word.
Fantastic
Like,
song. She's Leaving Home, underrated. Love that song.
and Fixing a Hole.
Fixing a Hole is quite good.
Yes. I
Also,
feel
little
like
help from my friends. Again, Ringo, undervalued. The man can sing.
yeah.
Every time I think about being for the benefit of Mr. Kite, I think of Eddie Izzard on Across the Universe singing it, and I just can't not laugh. Not really singing it so much as speaking it, but yeah,
Understandable.
it's hard to forget.
I would give this one a B.
Really, I was gonna say S.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. I will default. So, okay.
I'll put
I
it in an A if we want to compromise.
I was gonna say I wouldn't give it an S. I think that those two albums are pretty untouchable. But the other thing is, I like I said, if there's a Beatles album I don't know that well, it's this one. But I think A is fair.
Okay, yeah. Just because, like, you start that album and immediately Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, With a Little Help from My Friends, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Getting Better.
Yeah.
Like, one banger after another.
Like I said, like for this one,
I'm
yeah.
liking the way this is looking so far.
Yeah.
All right, we're about to get controversial. Magical
Literally,
Mystery Tour.
if there was ever a song, or if there's ever an album that was written on LSD,
Oh God, yes.
full of that.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's funny because like this one might be the most unique in terms of the style of the songs. They're very like
I feel like it's one that people kind of forget exists frequently, even though on one
yeah,
album we have Your Mother Should
Penny,
Know, I Am the
your mother.
Walrus, Hello Goodbye, Strawberry Fields Forever, Penny Lane, All You Need Is Love.
Baby, you're a rich man.
Like some of the most iconic Beatles songs of all time.
Yeah.
And this is why
Like there's not any song on here that I dislike.
I think this is an S tier.
Wow. Okay.
I
I'm not.
love Magical Mystery Tour. It is a great album.
I think you can absolutely defend making this an S.
Just again, so many of their absolute most iconic songs are on Magical Mystery
It's
Tour.
funny. Like the music almost and this isn't a bad thing, it's just unique to the album, but like the music is almost very unbalanced, like it's all over the place
Yeah,
and
oh no, oh yeah, no. But like that's a thing that I really like about it. one
Oh
of the
yeah, no,
things I
I
love about the Beatles just in general is how freaking weird they were able to get and still be the top selling band. Because like sometimes when people
mm-hmm.
start getting weird, like a lot of the times when like musicians start getting weird, like fewer and fewer people continue listening to them.
Yeah,
I
but they just
love how strange they were able to get and
yeah.
still be front and center in the public eye. So yeah,
I'm fine with that designation.
I dig it. This is looking pretty good.
Yeah. Or Please Please Me. It's not a bad album.
It really, again, within
Down there
their
all
discography. Okay, next. Let's see. Magic Mushroom 67. 68. The White Album.
if there was ever an album that was pure sprawl.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to unpack there.
So it's sad because this album has some of my favorite songs,
There are some
but
absolute bangers on it.
I th- like okay. Back in the USSR, yes, Dear Prudence, Glass Onion, Obla Di, Obla Da, and then um, oh my God, Rocky Raccoon. I think
Rocky Raccoon is a
top two.
great song. I love
It
Rocky
is
Raccoon.
the funniest songs
It's hysterical.
I've ever heard by the Beatles. Like the whole story is like one
Absolutely
roller
excellent.
coaster.
And also like even some of the
Um,
like somewhat less known like Sexy Sadie, great song.
yeah,
Don't Pass Me By, great
I
song. Again, another example that Ringo's freaking awesome.
I love Birthday and Your Blues. Helter Skelter was funny. Do you know the story behind that?
Oh, the whole like the Manson thing.
No, behind the song.
Oh, behind the no, actually, I don't think, or at least I'm not remembering that one. Do tell.
It was a band. I want to say it was U2, but I could be totally wrong. But there was a band that put out a song, and it was like, or no, I think it was Rolling Stones.
The
And
Who.
they put out a song, and it was like being raved about as like the dirtiest, grungiest song like ever created. And so the Beatles were like, well, we have to beat it.
Nice.
So they made Helter Skelter, and they had so many takes that like at the end, that's why you heard
I got blisters
Ringo.
on my fingers.
Yeah, because he was literally like
Bleeding.
his fingers were literally bleeding. Yeah, and you can hear him yell it on the song, and like that's where that song came from. They were just trying to one up, say, the Rolling Stones, but I could be
I
way off on
absolutely
that. But
love
that's
that.
Well,
sort
it was the Who.
the Who. Okay,
I do love the Who. They're fun.
so a inter-British fight.
The song was "I Can See for Miles." My
Ooh,
research.
that's a good banger. I Can See for Miles is a banger. Um, the songs on here that are great are like some of their best work, like Obla Di Obla Da. I adore that song. It's so good. But
That's
the
another one that
ones
makes
on
me.
here that like I kind of don't really care about, like for example, Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except Me and My Monkey. I don't care. I almost always skip it unless I'm like making a concentrated effort. Like today, I'm going like while I'm working on this, I'm going to sit down and listen to the entire White Album.
I agree. Revolution 1, never really cared for that
Oh,
either.
I love Revolution 1.
Really? Interesting. Okay.
Revolution 9, on the other hand.
You know what? I think that's what I'm thinking about. I think I'm getting them mixed up.
Yeah, Revolution 9 is the one that's just a bunch of noise.
Yeah.
And like,
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
as a person who like genuinely enjoys 100 gex, like I am all for listening to like weird noise. However,
Do you know how many years I spent calling it the continuing story of Buffalo Bill? Too many.
I like that though.
Too many. I was like, hey, Buffalo Bill. And then one day I was like listening to it without singing. I was like, oh my God, that's not what it's
But yeah,
so
or like
also raises some interesting ethical questions around like killing animals.
This is true.
Because it's like the kids are asking him like, "Hey, isn't killing wrong?" And he's like, "Yeah," and they're like, and that's this.
And also, like, Cry Baby Cry. I mean, like, it's fine. Like, you know,
Yeah,
it's a Beatles song, therefore it is good. But like, compared to others, eh.
it's so hard because like it has some of my favorite
It
songs
has
on
some great
there.
songs on it, but it's also just so freaking long.
It pains me to say it, but this might be a C. It is long. It has some songs that kind of sink it.
I was gonna say B or C. Would you like to weigh in, Brooks?
I feel like my contributions are very limited. I do
I
enjoy the
don't
song
care that you don't
Blackbird a
feel
lot.
qualified. I just, what is the vibe? What vibe does this give you?
I mean, overall, I don't. It's very long, and I don't know most of these songs. Maybe like 8 of them.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm gonna advocate for B because Rocky Raccoon might make one like my top five, if not three songs.
Okay, yeah, I gotta say Obla Di Obla Da is one of my
And
favorites.
yeah,
B.
Rocky Raccoon.
I'm gonna say I think B seems fair.
I'm very happy with that.
Alright.
It could have been an A if it wasn't so long.
Yeah. If they had just like tightened up the set list a little bit, definitely an A.
How many songs is it again? It's like,
Oh my god, it's like,
oh my God,
30.
yeah, it's a
30
lot.
songs.
There's a lot happening.
Like, no album should ever be 30 songs long.
There's a lot going on there. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, Abbey Road.
Okay, fun fact. I was not raised on the Beatles. I feel like all my friends who I know who grew up with them have like I don't know, they were raised on them. I was not. I was like an
Mm-hmm.
artificial convert. And the first Beatles song that I ever heard that I recognized as a Beatles song was shoot, what was it? Now I'm completely blanking. It was 1 second. I Want You. We were on vacation with some family friends. We were in Tennessee, and that song came on, and I was like, I'm kind of vibing with this. And that's when 14-year-old Zach began to listen to the Beatles.
I absolutely love that for you. Um,
So wherever we rank this, it will always have sentimental value.
I love that.
Um, it
Yeah,
also
again,
just has some fun songs.
it really.
I mean, Octopus's Garden is
I
just
love
fun.
Octopus's Garden so much. That song is so great. Again,
It really
Ringo Stan
is.
right here. You're looking at her.
Um, she came in through the bathroom window. It's just fun.
It's so good. And the whole thing about this is like, yeah, some of the songs like I kind of don't slap all that hard if you like listen to it by itself without like sitting down and listening to the album. Like this is an album where you have to listen to it start to finish pretty much. Cause like Sun King out of context of the album is a little like not it's not super special, but
Yeah,
like if you're listening to the whole like you have to listen to the whole thing first of all. But that whole album is just so like this is an S tier for me, like no question whatsoever.
interesting. I'm trying to think, are there ones that I
Also, Golden Slumber is such a great song,
it is.
so fantastic. That's one of my like all time favorite Beatles songs. The fact that this album is under an hour, like they do
That
that
is,
in less than 50 minutes.
I think I like Maxwell Silverhammer.
I
I think
love
he's just
Maxwell
funny.
Silverhammer. I love
Like
the story
if
behind the recording of that Paul McCartney wanted it to be a single so bad and he made them re-record it over and over and over again and every other member of the band freaking hated him for it.
I didn't know that. That's funny.
Oh man, and I think it's so funny that like a lot of people really love that song now because I was like maybe he was kind of
Yeah.
right.
It's funny because there's like a part of me that feels like I'm allowed to like that song because at the end they kill a man and it's not more of like Run for Your Life where it's like clearly misogynist. It's like, okay, no, they
This
kill
guy's just a
people.
murderer.
Yeah, he doesn't discriminate. Because the first two people are women, and
Yes.
then he kills her. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
it's called.
I gotta say, Abbey Road for me is like possibly one of my top albums, like, period. Like, not even just with the Beatles.
Wow,
Like,
that is a high
play
endorsement.
Abbey Road at
Endorsement.
my funeral and no one is allowed to leave until it's over.
Your film will be 47 minutes. I'm fine with S.
And I feel like it is such a basic thing to say, like, oh, my favorite Beatles album is Abbey Road. Like, I feel like that's the most obvious answer, but, like, it truly is, in my opinion, just so fantastic.
Yeah,
Because it's, like, I think it's a lot of the best of each of their kind of individual, like, styles that they, like, eventually would branch off into. Because they,
it,
like,
it yes,
it was
it
sort
is
of like
very
a,
similar.
like, not them like hating each other the way that they did recording the White Album. This was kind of like, okay, like we know this is pretty much it. Like we're gonna come together and like record like something really freaking good.
Yeah.
So, my red hot take.
Okay, remind me is I forget what it's called, but oh my God, I'm blanking on the name of the beat, the song, the album. But which one's next?
I believe it's Let It Be.
Okay,
The
that
Yellow
song
Submarine
alone.
one sort of kind of counts as a studio album, but also doesn't because there's a couple new songs that they recorded for the movie,
Okay.
but there's also songs from various other albums on it. So that's kind of in its
Can I
own
just
fun little world.
the song Let It Be bumps it up one tier regardless of where we put it, unless it's an S, in which case it's kind of maxed out. But that song, if anybody knows any Beatles song, it's either like
Yeah.
like Here the Sun or Let It Be. And for good reason. That is one of those songs that is like everybody knows, but it's not overrated. It is as good as it's made out to be.
This is correct. I feel like this is an album where like half of it is awesome and then half of it I'm kind of ambivalent on. Like,
Yeah,
dig
that's
it.
fair.
I've got a
I like
feeling one after 909. Like, again, they're
I
Beatles
like
songs, therefore pretty good.
I like I'm Fine. I think that the long and winding road is very pretty.
Long and Winding Road is a very pretty song. I do also like I Me Mine. I mean, Get Back is fun, but I think it's a little overrated.
Oh, wait, can I just go on a brief tangent about this song? Because people love to say that the Beatles were xenophobic and use this song as evidence. And anybody who says that has clearly never listened to the song. Because anybody who says that will be like, well, they say get back to where you came from. And it's like, okay, listen to the lyrics. His name is Jojo. He went from Arizona to California to get some California grass, and they're saying go back to Arizona, but the people who will like I always get so frustrated when
No,
I
yeah,
hear
no,
that, and I
that is some BS in my opinion.
yeah,
In my highly scientific
it's
opinion, I'm gonna say that's some BS.
like is Get Back one of my favorite songs in the world? It's not. It's not one of my least favorite Beatles songs, but it's not xenophobic.
It's not xenophobic. It is, in my opinion, kind of mid tier of
Yeah.
all of theirs. Like not this album, like Get Back specifically. Of all of their songs, is somewhere in the
Hmm.
middle,
I
at
agree
least
with
for
that.
me. Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I feel
know.
like half of these are bangers and half of them are like take it or leave it.
I mean, again, it's the Beatles, so therefore,
Of course,
pretty
everything's
good.
relevant. Relative, yeah.
But relative
I-
to, for example, but relative to something like the Beatles for Sale or Abbey Road.
So here's where I would put it. If Let It Be was not actually like on the album, I would give this a solid B.
Okay.
Because Let It Be is, I think Let It Be carries so much weight, I would bump it up to an A.
My senior quote in high school was a lyric from Let It Be, so I think I'm gonna have to agree with you there.
Wait, which quote?
The "when I find myself in times of trouble" bit at the beginning.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Apparently, that song came to John McCartney in a dream. Oh, not the song, but like the inspiration for it.
Oh, you know, and the Mother Mary isn't like the Virgin Mary; it's his mom.
Yeah. Which is very, very sweet.
We love that. Okay, actually, I gotta get the. I don't have the Yellow Submarine album downloaded on my phone. 1 second. Where is she? Haha. I might have all the Beatles albums on vinyl. I'm just now realizing.
I don't think I know this album that well.
Okay, so here's the track
But
list. You've got.
I don't think I've ever seen the movie, so that would
It's one of my
probably explain.
favorites. One of my favorites of all time. So here's what you got.
Yeah.
Yellow Submarine, Only a Northern Song, All Together Now, Hey Bulldog, It's All Too Much, and All You Need Is Love. So, and then the other, like, the B side is, like, the actual, like, orchestration, like, some of the orchestra bits from the movie, which is really cool. But the
Okay.
new, like, the songs written specifically for this movie that, like, that hadn't been released on any album prior, it's, Only a Northern Song, All Together Now, Hey Bulldog, and It's All Too Much. And All Together Now is freaking fantastic.
I'm gonna leave this one entirely up to you because I haven't seen the movie and I don't know most of the songs.
But I gotta say, Only a Northern Song and It's All Too Much, I'm kind of ambivalent on. Like, Hey Bulldog is a good time. I like that song. This one honestly might be like a B or a C.
Let's give it a C just so that Please Please Me has some company.
Yeah, okay. I can live with that. How do we feel? How do we feel about this looking at it overall?
From a bird's eye view. I think it's fair.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm like trying to think of a like way to it's almost like it's a bell curve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need one more album in the S, and then it would be like perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like for a band that had that much like kind of cultural impact, one would sort of expect like again
Yeah.
my limited knowledge of statistics, like a bell curve kind of distribution. Like almost everything is freaking amazing. But
Have
also,
either of you guys been to the Museum of Science in Boston?
I have not.
In the Mathematica room, they have a sort of bell curve going, and it's just this constant stream of black balls that drop in, and it creates a bell curve naturally. It's pretty similar.
That's fun. I'll have to check that out sometime.
It's probably my
Yeah.
favorite place in the world.
Love this album. Love this movie. There's a Yellow Submarine, like holographic, like one of those things where you like turn the picture a little bit and it changes. That's on my wall. I have movie over there, Yellow Submarine Funko Pop, and the only one I got was Ringo because love him. And what else?
Vibe with it.
Yellow Submarine Legos, heat sensitive Yellow Submarine mug. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites. I was right. The Beatles things took the whole episode.
I mean, no complaints.
Oh yeah, no, I again I could talk about the Beatles forever. I love doing
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I think, let me close out of that window here and the stream.
Yeah, I kind of want to look up other people's rankings of albums using they
Yeah,
got.
it's definitely, maybe that can be a thing we talk about as like on a stream or something a little more casual. Find other people's rankings and see how we feel about them. Okay. Well, we did it.
We did it.
Sorry you didn't get to, like, contribute a ton today.
Did my best.
I appreciate it. Your best was more than enough. You were very helpful.
Yes.
I think
I learned a lot too reading.
Hell yeah. I think it would be fun to, like, pick an artist and have all of us listen to all of their albums and then come back so we can, like, rank all their songs or something so we can get really heated.
Yeah, preferably one that doesn't have as many songs as the Beatles.
This is a valid point.
Because I certainly couldn't have listened to everything in the past week.
Because the only reason I have got such firm opinions on most of their albums is just because I've heard them like so many times.
Yeah, I have listened to these guys a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, who could that be?
I mean, you could really simplify it and just pick like one album.
And rank the songs.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
That'll be fun. We'll have to pick an album though.
Yeah, I don't know what it would be, but...
Yeah, we would have to find a very interesting sort of genre over, like, something in the middle of a very interesting Venn diagram of our various music tastes.
Yeah, on that.
I am an Arctic Monkeys person. I would be very down for something like that.
I don't think I've ever listened to the Arctic Monkeys in my life.
All right.
I realized why I categorized them as hip-hop before, because I was thinking of their very specific album, AM.
That's okay.
Yeah.
AM, which is also arguably their best or one of their best.
Yeah, we can think on it.
I don't know. I am down for pretty much any album. It would be fun if we did an album that none of us have ever listened to, like, intentionally.
Ooh,
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Right?
Yeah.
Start from the same place.
Yeah, I would be very down.
What if we
None of us
did?
have, like...
Hold on. There's like, there's like some albums I have like on my spot, like that I've like downloaded onto Spotify where it's like, oh, I know I enjoy this band or this genre, so I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna see if there's anything that like immediately jumps out at me. Hold on.
Well, see, like, I feel like it should be an artist that none of us know because we're starting from a place where we don't have, like, emotional investment or certain, like, memories attached to it.
What if someone comment and, like, pick an artist for us? Or, like, pick an album that you think none of us will have ever heard. And we'll listen to it. That would be really fun.
Because I feel like that's very much in fitting with the idea of the podcast, because it's like something that doesn't matter. And when you have an emotional connection to a band, it matters to you. But if it's a band you just don't know,
this is quite true.
It's like, then we're just arguing for the sake of arguing.
I like that. I very much like that. That is definitely something we can do in the future. And doing this episode, like, talking about other people's rankings and stuff gave me some solid ideas for bonus content and Twitch streams, so we'll have to get to planning those at some point. But yeah, it's been a fun little journey talking all about the Beatles tonight, or at least it has been for me, because I love talking about them. I hope everyone else had as much fun as I did.
I don't know if that's possible.
I do love the Beatles a lot. Or was that you cut off there for a sec?
Oh no, I was just saying that I think I can.
Hell yeah.
Talking about the Beatles, I can do that.
All right, well, we will be back again next week with more fun content for y'all. please consider doing some of the things that I suggest in the ending credits. We would be very much appreciative, and we appreciate every single person who listens, watches, has anything to do with us. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. And we will see you again next week. Bye!
Bye.
This week's episode of the Fighting with Friends podcast was hosted by Bridget Kelly, Zach Calderon, and Dr. Sarah Brooks. You can find other episodes of the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, or your other favorite listening platform. Follow us on Twitter at BridgetKelly98, at Zach Calderon, and at AndSarahSaid. Rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice. Like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, and join our Discord community using the links in the description. You can also help support us via the Acast supporter feature, or consider donating to our Patreon. Thanks for listening!